So after our live stream on Tuesday, I realized that I'm still kind of wrapping my head around this monarchy stuff. When King Charles turns up in the United States this week, and I'm like, okay, this is officially my entire personality for the next few days. Here are 5 things about the British monarchy that shocked me the most this week as an American living here in the UK. Okay. So the first thing is, and I don't feel like anyone really ever warned me about this, even though I knew it sort of exists. I just didn't put two and two together, I guess. The monarchy isn't just like someone that hangs out in Buckingham Palace unless there's like a parade or something. The monarch is everywhere. Coins in my pocket, post box at the end of the street, stamps that I use to mail birthday cards. And it's like literally woven into the language, like His Majesty's Revenue and Customs, the Royal Mail, the Crown Court. In the United States, we have the eagle and the flag, and anyone who's been to the US or seen anything knows the flag is used everywhere. It's on stuff. Yeah, fine. Okay. But here, the monarchy is just kind of ambient. It's not dramatic. It's not in your face patriotism. It's not trying to make a statement like it is in America. It just is. It's just there. And I don't know if British people even notice it anymore because it's been there their whole life. But as an American still trying to find their feet here, every time I turn around, it seems like I see representations of the monarchy or the king or late queen on a coin or something. I don't know. As an American, it's really interesting to me that it's there, it's part of you, it's part of your culture, but you don't make a big deal out of it. And it's something that's present. It's not something from history. It's not past leaders or historical figures or an event that's happened recently. It's something that lives and breathes even today. And I just I notice it and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's a thing here, huh? Okay, so the second thing is the way people talk about the monarchy here versus how Americans talk about it. It's a completely different energy, which I'm sure you can probably attest to because British culture, American culture, very different energies overall, right? In the US, you have 2 camps. You've got people who are obsessed positively with the royal family. Like they'll wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning just to watch a royal wedding, like that kind of obsessed. And then you have people who are like, why do we care? We literally fought a war to not have to care about this anymore. Why is this even on my television? So it's very all or nothing. Very American. Here, though, in the UK, it's weird. It's kind of this like ambient neutrality. There are definitely people who are not royalists and don't support the monarch and think it should be abolished. Just like there are people who emphatically support the royalists and the monarch. But there's not a constant ranting about them or a constant, yay, they exist kind of fandom about it. They do their thing. Sometimes they're complained about. Sometimes we watch them on TV. It's fine, but it doesn't take over everything unless it is a historic event like the queen dying or the king being coronated. Honestly, it took a little bit of adjusting because I keep waiting for people to have very strong opinions. And a lot of the time, the opinion is just like, meh. Anyway, did you see the match last night or what? Yeah, they literally care more about football than they do about what's going on with the monarch. The third thing, and this is one that genuinely got me when I first moved here. In America, we reenact history. We go to Colonial Williamsburg and watch people in costumes pretend to be blacksmiths. We watch people dress up and reenact the Battle of Gettysburg. We have living history museums as well as actual museums, right? It's all educational, it's fun, but it's very, very clearly and distinctly from the past. Here in the UK, they don't really reenact history because they don't have to. History is all around them. The king's coronation was not a historical reenactment, although it kind of could have seemed like one. It was an actual thing that was happening in real time with actual constitutional significance. The ceremonies that they do, whether it be the state opening of parliament or trooping the color, they're not museum pieces. They're still part of how things actually work here, even in present day. And that's a weird thing to wrap your head around as an American, because we're just used to history being something that we visit, not something that we live and breathe alongside of on a day-to-day basis. Okay, the fourth thing, and this one definitely surprised me the most, the collective emotional experience of the monarch. So when the late queen passed away, we were actually still in the United States. Being a part British family, we of course watched the funeral procession on television. And even though we were in a completely different country, we could feel the emotion pour through the television set. There were people just walking around in this mood that seemed to just hang over everybody everywhere. This quiet heaviness. It wasn't anything dramatic because Britain, but it was just this the everything was quieter. The pubs were quieter, the conversation shifted, you could feel it. And even people who weren't necessarily avid supporters of the monarch or the royals in general were genuinely upset that the queen had passed. Then I remember that the king's coronation happened right after we moved here to the UK. And it kind of felt the same feeling, but on the opposite end of the spectrum. There was lots of celebrations. There was people who had tons of flags out. There were people who would put flags out who had never flown a flag before. There was lots of celebration. There was lots of just emphatic enthusiasm for the new king and him being coronated and experiencing this moment in history. And I don't know, I just remember thinking as Americans, we don't really have that. We have moments, obviously, big tragic moments in history like 9/11 that we all reflect on and we tend to forget our differences, even if it's for a short amount of time. But it's very different. This is like watching an entire country collectively process one single event all together in real time. Someone that people that most of them have never met, never will meet, and that some of them don't even necessarily like or support, but because they had always been there, still feel the need to either grieve or celebrate. I don't know. I feel like in those moments, I kind of realized this is what it means for a person to be a symbol of national continuity, not in a textbook way, but in a real, actual, emotional, feeling way. Very new to me. This last one is one that I keep coming back to. Americans are obsessed with the British monarchy. I mean, some people are like crazy obsessed. A lot of people don't want to admit it because, again, they'll go back to that we fought an entire war to get away from it narrative. And we're the people that literally wrote a whole declaration about why kings and queens are bad. It's foundational to our identity as a country, of course. And yet, royal weddings, we watch them like the Super Bowl. We have viewing parties, for God's sake. Royal babies, front news all over the US media. And The Crown is a massive hit. Even though we are bred to emphatically reject monarchy as a whole, Americans can't seem to quit it. We just can't. I don't know if part of it is like just because we don't really have anything like it. I mean, we have political dynasties and we have celebrities, but we don't really have this like unbroken line of continuity that just runs through all of our culture. That tradition that goes back centuries, probably because we're only a couple centuries old, but still, I don't know. We watch it from the outside kind of like it's a fairy tale because for American citizens, it kind of is. So here's my bonus thought. After living here for a little while, I'm kind of getting it. I'm not a monarchist now in any way, but I do kind of understand why it matters to most people here. It's not about the individual on the throne. It's about the throne and crown itself. It's about what they represent, the stability, something that's bigger than any one specific government or politician or one specific moment in time. I don't know. I feel like there might be something a little comforting about that, actually. And maybe that's what I'm picking up on. And maybe that's why the British culture hasn't completely overthrown the monarch in any way. I don't know. I'm even still figuring out how I feel about it, so I'm sure I'm not the only one. Ask me again in a year or so. If you are part of Tuesday's live stream or you want more behind the scenes expat stuff, become a member of the Mandyverse Collective. We'd love to have you. Or check out the playlist here for more from the Hickson Diaries. See you guys next time.